Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content. For a little bit of a different video, it's not Southampton content, we're going to do another ranking video when it comes to the Premier League. But in this one, we're going to be ranking the brand new home kits for all 20 Premier League clubs for the 2019-2020 season. Given that the ranking stadiums video did pretty well, I thought it would be a good idea to have a look at the home kits for the teams in the Premier League for the new season, given that all of them have been released officially by the clubs bar about 2 or 3, but they've still been leaked. But before we get into the video guys, do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If this is the first video you've seen on the channel, first of all, welcome. We are a Southampton channel generally, but we do make Premier League content here and there like this video, so do make sure you're subscribed because you might be interested in Southampton. You might also want to see our Premier League video, so if you want to see either of that, make sure you're subscribed, have notifications turned on, and then you can catch everything that we do. And also make sure you are following us on our socials. Right, let's get into the video. Now, the way I've done this, I found it way too difficult to rank them from 20 to 1. So I've evenly divided all 20 kits into 4 categories. That's crap, average, decent, and stunning. So we're going to start off with the crap ones. Obviously it's equally divided. Starting off with Newcastle's kit. It's made by Puma. I don't really have much to say about it. The vertical thing is just not working. I really don't like it. Not enough stripes either. I just don't think it looks good on the players either. I need to see it in action when it's actually used in a game, but for me it's one of the worst in the league. Going on to the next one, it's Southampton's. See, I'm not biased at all. I don't really know what Under Armour were thinking with this one. The backlash this kit has gotten is insane, and I completely agree with it all. I mean, the black at the top, I really just don't get it. I've seen it in person, it does look better than the pictures, but still, it's the black. If it was all red going up, it'd be okay, because they're like some nice darker stripes that you see that are sort of you can't really pick up in the photos, but when you see it in person and you pick out, the sponsor doesn't help either. The LD Sports here or there, we still don't know. Yeah, really not happy with that one from Under Armour. Next up is Liverpool's. You know, there's no bias because it's Liverpool. I really don't think New Balance have hit the nail on the head here. You know, first of all, the pinstripes don't really work, and it's mainly the fact that they don't go all the way up. You know, if you want to use pinstripes, I think you can't really have this chest bit here that's just all red. It's a bit like Southampton's third kit last season. You just have to have them go all the way up, and then it might be a little bit nicer, but I don't really like it at all. Next up is West Ham's home shirt. Not really keen on this one, made by Umbro. I think, I'm not too sure. It's more the fact that it's the stripes on the top and there's just no blend between the claret and the blue on the chest. It's a bit like Southampton's, it just is a block. There's no sort of detail that really stands out. The stripes don't look great. Don't really like the West Ham kit. The fifth and final home shirt that I've put in the crap category is Everton's. Also made by Umbro. I don't know what the little sort of like tic-tac sort of pattern is on the chest. It's not even on the whole of the kit, it's just the sort of top bit. It looks more like a training top to me. You know, you sort of see that pattern on a training top, not in your actual home kit. It's just really bland and the pattern doesn't look great. Moving on to the average category now, another Umbro kit, and that is Burnley's. You know, it's a pretty simple Burnley kit, claret and with a bit of blue trimming. The only thing I'd say about it is I don't really like the blue here. I don't think that looks great. But, you know, claret sleeves, the sponsor looks okay. You know, it's just a very plain average shirt. Next up is Man City's. This might be a little bit controversial there now with Puma. Don't really like what Puma have done with this one. Some people like the purple trimming on the sleeves. Personally, I don't. I think it's quite basic. You know, all you see is the blue, and then you do see that purple trimming. It's just not for me. I do like the fact that they've got 125 years under the badge. It's an anniversary shirt. That's nice. We like anniversary shirts, but yeah, it feels really weird seeing a Man City shirt with Puma when we've been so used to seeing Nike and Umbro over the years. So it's just bang average, and the fact that the Etihad sponsorship logo is purple as well, yeah, it doesn't really stand out for me. Next up in the average category is newly promoted Aston Villa's home shirt. They have now gone to Kappa, and you know, I think it's a bit like Burnley's, pretty simple, almost all claret with blue sleeves. The sponsor looks a bit weird as well. In fact, it's gold and white. I think if they could have made it blue, potentially it would have looked nicer, or all white. You know, it's okay, there's no really pattern, it's quite basic and bland, very average. Another newly promoted side, this time Sheffield United. Their home shirt is made by Adidas, and I think it's okay. Obviously you've got the typical red and white stripes that you'd expect to see in a Sheffield United shirt, but the sponsor, USG, I really don't like that. The fact that he's got a Union Jack and then black on a red and white shirt, it really doesn't stand out for me. I think if the sponsor was a bit different, it might look a bit nicer, because I think the red and white is pretty simple and quite and stands out as you'd expect from an Adidas kit. You know, bar the sponsor is quite a nice shirt, I think, but the sponsors brought it down, and I think it is pretty average. Now for the final shirt in the average category, this hasn't actually been officially announced by the club. As I'm filming this, it might have been once this is released, but it's Tottenham's shirt. It's been leaked. We've seen plenty of the same shirt over the last month or two. It's a very, very basic shirt made by Nike, all white with a bit of black and sort of navy blue trimming. It's very typical Spurs. You know, they've got their colours, but it's a very bland shirt. It doesn't really stand out. There's no pattern. It's just, you know, all white with a bit of trimming. Nike haven't really tried to stand out with this one. They've sort of made quite a template-like kit, and I don't really like when that happens. Now moving on to the decent category. First off, I've put down Wolves' shirt. It's made by Adidas. I've seen a little bit of backlash about this one, but I personally quite like it. I think people have said they don't like the V-neck. That's something I like. The orange with sort of like, it's almost as if it's like a fur kind of pattern. It's kind of weird. It's like stripes, but they're not even. But I think it looks quite nice. And of course, you've got the typical black trimming with the orange as you'd expect from a Wolves kit. Yeah, I think the sponsor suits it as well. I don't have much criticism with this one. I think it looks quite nice. Next up, another shirt that hasn't been officially released by their club, but we've seen it plenty of times in and around now. That's Watford's shirt. It's pretty simple as well, black and yellow, as you'd expect from a Watford shirt, but it's just 2 blocks. You know, it doesn't really stand out. It's a bit different. I quite like that. It's made by Adidas. I think it looks quite clean, tidy. Like I say, there's no pattern, so you know, it could be a bit better, but I think it's a bit different and I quite like it. Next up is Crystal Palace's home shirt made by Puma. I really like it actually. You know, it's a bit different. The white stripes don't go all the way down. They're sort of like fused kind of thing. It's really strange, but it's different. I like it. Obviously you've got the typical red and blue stripes as you'd expect from a Crystal Palace shirt. A bit of white trimming on the sleeves, and then yeah, these white sort of almost, I guess, pin stripes, but they don't go all the way. I think it looks quite nice. It's different and I like that. Next up is Norwich's home shirt, another newly promoted side. It's made by Area. I really like this one actually. It's yellow and green as you'd expect from a Norwich shirt, but then you sort of got the green dotted around and sort of strange little pattern at the bottom. It's a bit like Spurs' shirt last year where they had those, I guess you call it like dotted pattern. I don't really know what it's called. Let us know in the comment section below what that pattern is called. Sort of fades into the yellow. I really like that. And obviously green trimming on the shoulders and the sleeves. Dapperbet logo suits it as well. They made it green. Yeah, I quite like this kit actually. Now lastly, in the decent category, this one's gotten a bit of backlash, but personally I quite like it. It's made by Nike. That is Chelsea's home shirt. Now obviously it's gotten the backlash because it's a bit different of the pattern. Some people have said it looks like the pattern on the bus seat. You can see where they're coming from, but I think it's quite nice. I think it's abstract. Like I said, as you might have been able to tell from this video, I quite like a sort of standout kit that's a little bit different. And I think Nike have done quite well with this one. Obviously it's blue, as you'd expect from a Chelsea kit. And then the pattern's a bit darker. Personally, I don't really have a problem with it. It's different, but I think it looks quite nice on the players. We've seen them playing it when they had a game at the end of the season. So I don't really have much to say against Chelsea's new home shirt. Now finally, moving on to the stunning category. This could have a bit of controversy throughout all of the kits I've put in there, but let me know whether you disagree or agree with me in the comment section below. Let's have a civilised debate about it. I've started off with Arsenal's new home shirt made by Adidas. They've recently signed that they've just signed that partnership. I think it's a really nice kit. I think it's very simple and plain, but you still got the attributes of what you'd expect from an Arsenal shirt and obviously an Adidas shirt as well. You know, red, white. They haven't tried too hard with the pattern. It's very sort of smart. You've got a bit of trimming on the neck and on the sleeves. I don't really have anything negative to say about this shirt. Maybe they could have put in some sort of pattern that would have been nice, but then that would have also maybe gone outside the box a little bit and people wouldn't have liked it. I think Adidas needed to get the shirt right for their first year back sponsoring Arsenal, and I think they've hit the nail on the head. Next up is Manchester United's home shirt, another one made by Adidas. A bit like Arsenal's, very simple, very neat. It's pretty much all red with the black trimming. You've also got a bit of a different badge that's more old-fashioned, which actually I like. You've got the typical Chevrolet sponsorship badges they've had for ages now. I think it's a little bit different obviously with that badge, but personally I really like it. I think it's very neat, very clean. Stand out. We're starting a trend here now with the Adidas kits. Another Adidas kit that I really like this season is Leicester's home shirt. We've seen it played in at the end of the season last year. I don't like it when the clubs advertise their new kits at the end of the previous season. Yeah, it's really weird, but sort of like a checkered pattern. But it's quite discreet. I think you see Barcelona's new home shirt, that's really obvious, the checkered pattern, and I don't really like that, but this is quite discreet with blue all over. You've also got the gold Adidas badge and the gold stripes on the shoulders, which I really like. And then typical King Power logo, looks nice, suits the kit. I really don't have a bad word to say about this one. And this one might be a little bit controversial, but it's Bournemouth's home shirt for the new season made by Umbro. I really like it. I think it's really clean and smart. I've used those adjectives quite a lot, but it's, you know, the typical red and black stripes, but there's no sort of silly black collar or whatever it was, or button or anything like that. It's all very smooth, very simple, but it stands out. I don't know what it is, but there's something different that they do each year, Umbro, to make those black and red stripes a little bit different. Always the Mansion logo looks good. Really don't have a bad word to say about this Bournemouth kit. Then finally, the fifth kit I've put in this stunning category is Brighton's, made by Nike. It's very similar to the first kit they had in the Premier League 2 seasons ago, but they made it a little bit different with extra stripes in the stripes, if that even makes sense. I don't know what it is. It's like it's a graded sort of fade pattern where it's a bit darker inside and it fades in. I really like that. I think that stands out, and it's very different to any sort of striped shirt that we've seen for quite a while in the league. Definitely different to anything that we've got in the league this season. As always, the American Express logo looks good. Old Nike tick, a bit of gold trimming on the top. Yeah, nothing bad to say about this one either. Right guys, that is the end of the video. Very controversial, I'm sure. Let me know in the comment section below your opinions on the new kit. Which ones are your favourites? Which ones do you despise? And if you've disagreed with me, let's have a civilised debate. Let's not instantly start throwing death threats around, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet already. Turn notifications on as well so you don't miss a thing throughout the rest of the summer. If you're not a Southampton fan, subscribe as well. You may as well while you're still here. We'll do more Premier League content, and you may be quite interested to see what Southampton are doing throughout the season. Also make sure you're following us on our socials, and we will see you in the next one.